So, welcome back to The Vintage Musician, and let's have a look at a new incarnation of a piece of proper vintage guitar gear. In about 1975, Schaffer built this box, and it was a diversity receiver for guitarists. So it was, the first true wireless system, so that guitarists could move around freely on stage and not get tangled up in cables and stuff. And there was a sound to this box, due to the circuitry he used and the components, and quite a few famous bands that you've heard of use these things, and it was a big part of their sound, which they probably didn't quite realize until this unit went away. Just to name a few, Pink Floyd had 20 of these, but more importantly, the key figure to all of this is Angus Young from AC/DC. He used this system, and so somewhere down the line, production stopped. There was only 1,000 made of these units, and bands moved on, used different systems, and this guy called Phil Olivieri, who's a devout AC/DC fan. He's probably the biggest AC/DC fan you can find, and not only is he a fan, this guy can play each song, each solo, note for note. It's amazing. He's got the moves down, he's got the sound down. He's been looking for Angus's sound for like 30 years, and he bought the same guitar, the same gauge strings, the same Marshall amplifier, and he got close. It was pretty damn close, but there was something missing. There was a little secret ingredient missing, and he met with Angus. He was interviewing Angus, and he found out about this box. So he met up with Ken, and they got together, and Phil plugged his trusty SG into this unit, into his plexi, and boom, there it was. Instant Angus Young guitar sound. Phil over the moon. We need to get these boxes back on the market. So formed a company called Solo Dallas, who together with Ken have been redeveloping these units, and you can get them in pedal format, or you can get them in desktop format with this cool VU meter, which I love. So I met the guys at an NAMM show on recommendation of Elliot Randall, and I went to see Phil, and I met Goose, the other guy in the company, and they plugged in the guitar, how to play. I was like, oh my god, that just sounds like Angus. That's scary. I need to test drive one of these immediately. So Goose sent me a unit, and it's been sitting here on my shelf being a secret weapon, because I'm always for trying things that are designed for specific applications in different ways. So I've been using this, even though it's developed for guitar. I've been using it to spice up bass guitars, keyboards. I've even used it on an entire album on an acoustic guitar, just to give it a little bit more bite and give it a different character to the other acoustic guitars that were on there. So here we go. I think we're going to have a listen to a guitar part that was laid down by the wonderful John Klein for a artist I'm working with, Georgia Nevada. This is for one of her tracks, and even though we re-recorded all the demo guitars with big amps, big rooms through this box, I've got one of the demo guitars that was done through a guitar rig or something. So it's exciting, it's cool, it's fat sounding. But once we kick this in, you're going to hear the difference, and suddenly this guitar is going to come to life. It's going to have bite, it's going to cut through. So what we're going to have a listen. So we're going to kick in the foot lead pedal. Boom, another red light. And I've got it on a different channel here. So we're going to have a listen to the guitar by itself, as it is. And then we'll kick the pedal in and see what happens. So here we go. Clean, distorted guitar part. There we go, that was clean. Now we're going to have a listen to what this unit does. Okay, so I'm going to mute the original. I'm going to kick this bad boy in. And here we go. Instant balls to the wall guitar. You just need one. I'm sorry. It's the coolest box on the planet. RCA 44. How's that for a classic? Proper vintage, old school looking, almost, you know, a much more expensive brother, the U47, which was a valve mic. Highly sought after. Highly expensive.